Hello and welcome to the floor of Stammer with me, John. Today we're going to be looking at these Pulsio Compression Boots. Let's get to it. These boots were not sent to me and I've paid for these with my own cash. So the views and opinions that you listen to today are going to be those of mine and mine alone. So now that we've got the disclosures out of the way, let's talk about these compression boots from Pulsio. What do you get with the Pulsio compression? So you get two plastic compression boots. These are designed with chambers, so there are 4 of the chambers that come with a hose, and the hose links up to a unit here with visual indicators on the unit. So it's really easy to set up, really easy to use. You take it out of the box, put on the boots, put in the hose. So there are 2 hoses in each boot that will link up to a secondary connector hose, which will connect up into the unit itself. And now you turn on the power unit, which is released, you plug it into the wall. It has to be plugged in at all times. So there are 3 main modes to the power unit, to the compression boots. There's sequence, circulation, and a combination of those 2. So different parts of the boots will inflate at a particular time in the combination in increments of 20, 25, and 30 minutes. Pressure wise, it goes up to 200 mmHg. So primarily the purpose of these boots are to aid in recovery. Now, the recovery primarily of something called DOMS. Now, if you don't know what that is, so what is DOMS? So before we start, I am not a trained physician, so I suggest that you speak to your GP or your physician before you undertake any activity. So what is DOMS? Maybe you know what DOMS is, which is fantastic, or maybe you don't. So DOMS is delayed onset muscle soreness. So basically what that means is if you've ever done any exercise and the next day you feel absolutely fine, it's potentially the day after that is when you start feeling the aches and the pains. That if you've ever been in the garden and you've done work, you're lifting, anything physical, been to the gym, you go for a run, anything physical perhaps you've not done for a little while, may not hurt the next day, but the day after it really hurts. So this is what DOMS is, and this is one of the tools. The compression boots are a tool to help combat DOMS. So on compression boots, what you find is you find a number and mmHg. So this mmHg is milliliters of mercury, which is what they used to use to measure the pressure of your blood. There are 2 numbers associated with mmHg. So the bigger number is your systolic rate. So this is the pressure of the blood from your heart that pumps around your body. So this is the bigger number. So typically for me, I see this number when I go for a run or I'm trying to work out my max heart rate. Start off at 220, take away my age, and that's the number that you get. So that is the big number. So the secondary number is the diastolic rate. So this is the smaller number, which is the heartbeat at rest. What's the pressure of that blood when your heartbeat is at rest? So typically what you'll see is when you have your blood pressure read is 2 numbers. So it could be like 180 over 60, and those are the 2 numbers, the systolic and the diastolic rate. So in compression boots, the number that you need to be aware of is the systolic number, which is the high number. So this is the pressure, the physical pressure of the boot and how much pressure it can put through the body part which you use it. So the whole point of a recovery boot is to help with DOMS and help with recovery and help with the speed of that. Now, the 2 main constituents of that are going to be your metabolic waste and your lymphatic waste. Anything physical, and then your lymphatic is when your body's trying to get rid of all the lactic, the toxins in your blood, trying to get rid of the dead cells in your blood. So it pushes it around in the blood, in the lymphatic system. So the point of compression boots are to force the new blood, which is full of new oxygen, which is full of new nutrients, and push that blood into the areas that are impacted, or trying to get rid of that waste. So that's the purpose of the compression boot, is to get that new blood circulated around the body, especially to those parts that have been impacted by exercise. So primarily DOMS really does hit pretty much the next day, and sometimes it can hit the day after. Now this is where you work hard and then you're expecting that pain and you think to yourself, I'm absolutely fine, and then actually what then happens is the day after, that's when you can't walk, and my goodness, the pain in your legs is absolutely ridiculous. So this is where something like Pulsio compression, and there are other compression boots out there, but primarily these compression boots are supposed to help with that. Now, what are my experiences with Pulsio compression and compression boots? The compression boots seem to be all the rage with sports people, footballers primarily, and you see them in the boots. Now, this is obviously to aid recovery. The purpose is to put pressure on the legs, to force the blood flow in one way, to flush all the toxins out, so your metabolic waste and your lymphatic waste, all those germs, all those things associated with your exercise, flush all that out, and it's supposed to push the new blood into the body, which helps and aids recovery, and that's the purpose of these boots. So how have I found the boots? Now, I was very skeptical of the boots. I typically use a roller, a foam one. I do have compression guns, and I've found that using that compression gun on an area does really help. Now, what appealed to me is kind of being able just to sit there as I am now and just kind of be able just to chill, read a book, watch TV, and put these on the legs and basically just chill. However, the caveat to that was, do they actually work pressure-wise? How good are they? And what is the noise like? So first of all, let's go to the noise. So actually the noise, it's not that bad at all. It's not super quiet, but if you're kind of in a good sized room and you're watching TV and you just want to chill, I actually don't find it that bad. It's actually not too loud. So I'll turn it on now. So it's actually not too bad. The microphone's here, so if I just pop it there, you could even put some headphones in, you can read. So I actually don't think that the unit itself, particularly on the Pulsio compression, is particularly loud. So I was impressed straight away with the noise level of the Pulsio compression. Now, second of all, when you're putting on the boots themselves, how good are they? And they appear to be made from plastic, which is actually fine. So they are really, really hard. They are really hardy wearing. Now I've put them on and they are comfortable. I've got these in a medium. I'm about 5'10", so actually they are perfectly fine. They do go all the way up the leg, and your feet poke out the end. So there's a full compression all the way from the feet all the way up to the thigh, and you do get a really good compression feel. These boots range from 60 mmHg all the way up to 200 in increments of 20. So, you can have it quite low and you can have it quite high. Now, 200 in these boots is compressive. Like, it is really quite compressive. So I like the fact that you start off at 60 and you can go that high. So what I find, particularly when I've had a hard run, you know, I stick it up to 200 and you can really feel that sort of compression, forcing that blood around the body. I actually think it feels really, really nice. So from that perspective, you actually feel like it does work. So for the most important aspect of the compression boots, or whatever compression boots that you buy, there are lots of conflicting evidence out there and lots of conflicting things, and I take on board that these compression boots may not be for everybody. Now, depending on the sport that you do, you may respond to them, you may not respond to them. Now, as I've said, I'm not sponsored by these boots. I bought these boots before I bought anything else, and I have to say I'm very impressed by the boots, and they definitely helped me. Now, I did 8 weeks training for a 100k run, and I will say that these boots were definitely a valuable tool in me being able to train as hard as I did and then recovery after. So, you know, I was doing between 70 to 100 mile weeks, being able to not only use the compression guns, but then being able just to sit there for an hour, put on these boots, sit there and just let that kind of pressure on the legs, let the blood flow, try to recover. And as a recovery boot, I have to say for me, they are fantastic and they do work. To what degree they do work is, I don't have that scientific evidence to say that, you know, what percentage wise I feel that they worked. All I can say is that in terms of recovery in the training, I think these were an invaluable tool and they absolutely helped me with the 100-mile weeks. I don't think I could have necessarily recovered as quickly without the boots. And then after the 100k race, the first thing that I did after that race was reach for these boots, put them on and just sit there for a couple of hours in them and just relax. And it was absolutely fantastic. Now, were they a valuable tool in helping that? Absolutely. So in terms of a recovery, in terms of, you know, using the compression boots and, you know, having a walk and being out with the kids and that kind of stuff to recover, this is was a fundamental tool for me personally in being able to train, recover from the training and then recover after the race. So now after I train, come home, stick on the boots, plug them in, and I'm there for an hour. And, you know, the leg feel is absolutely fantastic. All I can say is for me personally, they absolutely work. I just happened to pick up these Pulsio Compression and, you know, I absolutely loved the price. So these retail about $299. However, you can get another 10% off these. Use Stammeron code StammeronYT and you'll get a further 10% off the boots. So do I think that these are worth the price? I think that totally depends on what it is that you're training for and what it is you're trying to do. So there are lots of different compression boots out there at different price points. Now, as I say, these retail at about, I think, £700. At the moment, they're $299, 10% off, Stammer YT. And I think that if you are a person that runs a lot, uses your legs a lot and can afford it, I think it's an investment in your recovery. I think it's an investment in your health. You know, I'm fortunate that I was able to buy these with my own cash. I know not everybody is. However, I just think for an all-round recovery and taking it to the next level, you know, there are some boots out there that I've seen are, you know, more towards the £800 mark. And not that I've tried those, but from what I've seen with these boots, they do absolutely everything that you need. There's a good range of pressures in the boots, ranging from 60 mmHg all the way to 200. So you really get that range of compression for what it is that you're trying to do. They are well made. You know, there is you really do feel like you are recovering in the boots. That's my personal experience. Everything is really well made, easy to use, and also it is very convenient to use. Maybe not convenient to look at, but convenience in terms of easy to put on the boots, easy to put the hose together. It even comes in a bag. It's really easy to put around, so you can actually take it anywhere, and it just plugs into the mains. So it's really is a one-stop shop of compression. All in all, these Pulsio compression boots and compression boots, I think, are fantastic. These are an absolute amazing price. I think you will not be disappointed if you pick these up. They are just fantastic, even just to sit there with a book, watch the TV, and just absolutely relax in these boots, because they are fantastic. So if you are able to and you have an option, I definitely recommend compression boots, and I absolutely 100% recommend these Pulsio compression. Don't be put off by the cheaper price compared to some other boots. These are a really well made, fantastic boot, which helped me achieve my goals. So these are brilliant. So if you've got an opportunity, check them out. And on that note, please don't forget to turn on the notifications to know when we post a video. Please don't forget to like, favourite and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.